Hi everybody, and welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Carrie Lynn and I'm a unicorn, keeping up with the Halloween theme. We have a week till Halloween, so it's always fun to play around and try as many costumes as possible. Otherwise I wouldn't have worn white. I'm making chicken salad, so I'm brave enough to wear white when I'm not using a lot of sauces. So today, as I said, we're making chicken salad. And I thought before we start, I would go over some of the things that we're gonna need. And I'm hoping that I got it all over here. So today, I'm gonna use a food processor. But if you don't have a food processor, or if you just have a small one, that works as well. You can also use a blender. You can use a chopper, one of those handheld choppers, or something else that might work. You can use the grate side of your cheese grater. But I'm not going to be using any of those today, but also you can just use a knife and dice it. I'll probably go over that as well. Things that I'm going to use in my chicken salad are some chicken. I'm going to use some green onions or scallions, some celery. We're also going to use sweet relish. I'm going to use Miracle Whip, but you can use dill relish, you can use Miracle Whip substitute, or you can use a real mayonnaise. Anything works. And I'm going to use some olives. So the only seasonings I'm going to use today will be ground black pepper, garlic salt for my chicken, and then salt. Can you read upside down? And ground black pepper for my chicken salad. Quite simple. Other things you might need today are measuring cups or spoons. I'm going to try to keep up with my measurements this time. That way it helps in writing the recipe at the bottom. And also so that it gives you a better idea of what I'm doing. Now, throughout the video, as we're doing different vegetables and stuff, I'll go over some of the other things that might actually be better for other people in a chicken salad. It's a real versatile, just like tuna fish. I don't eat tuna fish, but I think I've seen tuna fish made many different ways. So before we start on our chicken, also I'm going to be using a container to mix. It doesn't want to open. Oh, there we go. With a lid, a tight fitting lid, because I'm going to mix it in here and this will go straight into my ice box. So I don't have to dirty up a bunch of dishes. And I'm going to be using a pan, just a baking pan, to make my chicken. So let me move this out of the way. One step I do need to do, I don't usually have my chicken still packaged when I'm doing things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go there and take out as many of these as I need. It's individually wrapped. And it looks like I'm going to probably use all of them today. They're 5 individually wrapped chicken breasts. They're not very large. So I'm going to go rinse these off and get them unpackaged, and then we'll come right back. Alright, so we're back, and all I did was unwrap my chicken breast and rinse them off in some cool water. So if you have drip some water on there. If you have a surface on your pan that you don't need nonstick spray, that is fine. You don't have to use it. Or if you wanted to use olive oil or any oil of any kind to prepare your pan, that is good. I don't want oil on mine, so I'm not going to put any. So I'm going to get my garlic salt, which garlic powder is fine as well. We don't have to over salt the chicken. And ground black pepper. And I'm going to lay these. Something else I like about these chicken breasts that are individually wrapped, usually they're already pre-trimmed for you. I will skip that step on any meat. I like to vacuum seal my meats and separate them, so anything that comes individually wrapped or pre-separated is great. I might not want to use a whole bunch of it at one time, and I like to know that I don't have to hurry and use it. So I'm just gonna, for the chicken, we're just gonna sprinkle on a little black pepper. Just a little, you don't want to overdo it. And we're gonna do this on both sides. I knew that was gonna happen. And a small amount of the garlic salt. Just enough to get it on there. I'm going to flip it over and do the same on the other side. Some pretty little chickens there. And I get my individually wrapped chickens from different brands. Just going to put a little black pepper. And a little bit of garlic salt. I'm going to stick this in the oven. Let's see. Well, my oven doesn't like my chicken fingers. I'm gonna bake this chicken in my oven at 400, and we're gonna set a timer and see how long that takes while we get everything else ready. Let's get this started. All right, let's start. Nope. We need to start on 0. Oh, there we go. Okay, we're gonna start right now. Maybe. Okay, I see what I did. I went to the wrong thing. I'm having a blonde day. Okay, so we're gonna start our timer. We're gonna stick this in the oven. I have a gas oven. And I'm gonna cook that on 400. And it's okay to cook it at a high temperature. Anything's okay to cook at a high temperature like that, as long as you know that the timing is going to be different and how long it takes to get cooked. It's going to cook a little faster, which is what I want today. This is actually what I'm having for lunch, and I've been after it all week, so we're going to be enjoying that. So I'm going to do 2 things here. Let me get rid of this chicken. Actually, let me go wash my other vegetables. I'm going to rinse my celery and my green onion, scallion, in some cool water, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so we have everything rinsed, and like I said, I'm trying to actually get accurate ingredients I use here, so I'm going to try my best to use a measuring cup. So I'm going to start off with my celery. Oh, still a little wet. Be alright. Get dried off here. Oh, one of them looked like it got tackled. It's alright. So, I'm going to start off with the celery and I'm going to cut this bad boy off. I have my trash bucket behind me and I need to put it in front of me. Wrong side. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll definitely get there. Alright, so I actually like a lot of celery in mine. If you don't like celery, just don't put it. This is not one of those recipes where you have to use the exact same vegetables. You can use diced apple, carrot, pears, whatever you like. So this is one of the ways that you can get small dices. I like to have everything in every bite. I don't like having big chunks. So we're going to go through every little step in case you do like big chunks. If you don't have a food processor or anything to make your, you can just shave it. Take your time and try to get a small, just a small thin cut. Let me see if you can see that. They're very thin, little tiny pieces of celery. That way, when you put it into your chicken salad, or you can do tuna salad, you're getting it spread evenly throughout the whole thing, so you're not like surprised every time you take a bite. It's like, oop, I got a big chunk of chicken, oop, I got a big chunk of celery, and so on and so forth. So if you don't have something like a food processor, then I would suggest doing it that way to make it thin. I do have a food processor. I don't have a blender. So the next thing, if you want it chunky, you can always just do it chunky. Make you a big chunky bit of celery. Just go along and chop, 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 chop. And you don't even have to cut it in half. I do that because I'm a little OCD about getting my vegetables a certain size. If you don't want to cut them at all, or, well, no, okay, you can't just put a stalk. That's not what I meant. I guess you could just do this. And have just a full celery. But, I wouldn't recommend it. To each their own. So, yes, all this is going to my food processor because I want it to all be the same. You could also cut it in square chunks, I guess, where you cut it down again. And do smaller square chunks instead of large ones. And if you want apples, I would suggest doing them, or, well, I wouldn't suggest, I would do them smaller, but that's usually what you find in chicken salad. But today, we're just gonna chop them up. And I'm gonna stick them in my food processor. So I'm gonna chunk them big, just get them ready. My dog, he's like really on some kind of a go get them trip today, so if you're hearing barking in the background, don't be surprised. I'm not quite sure what he's barking at the whole time, but he knows, and that's all that matters. Oh, no. I don't have to cut it any particular way. I'm just trying to keep the strands in celery from being so large. What, some of these pieces just not happy campers today. Yep, this one. And as far as the chicken goes, you can use canned chicken. Also, like if you have leftover fried chicken, you can, I'm gonna dehydrate those later. If you had leftover fried chicken, or you bought some rotisserie chicken, or you made rotisserie chicken, or any kind of chicken that you have left over, or that you bought from the store, it works fine. But if you use fried chicken, like from a chicken restaurant or something, make sure you just sit there and take the time to take all the crust off. I don't think that'd be very pleasant. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that'd be kind of gross. Alright, so I have my blade in my... I don't know how loud this is going to be. If it's going to be really loud, I'll just fast forward it. Okay, she's not cooperating today. It's still mad at me because when I first got it, I scratched it up. Oh. Okay, so we're gonna do this. It's not that loud. We're gonna do this. And I want to put that on shred. And what I get is shredded up. Let me get a spoon. I don't want my baby spoons. What I get is shredded celery. So it'll be throughout my whole entire chicken salad. See, it's nice and it's fine. But I do want to, before I dump this into I want to go around the sides and on the bottoms, make sure I got every piece so I don't get a big surprise of some sort. Wow. I got this one for Christmas from my son, and I couldn't be happier, or from my husband. I think my son bought me the attachments for my KitchenAid, so I like them anyway. Either one, I like them all. So, okay, we're going to do this one more quick time on shred or slice. We're going to get a measuring cup because I want to see how much that made. This might be a little bit longer video than I've been trying to make lately, but I would like to get as accurate as I can on these measurements. I'm going to start with a cup. And there was nothing wrong with my last food processor. It just didn't match the color appliances I was going for, and I had had it for a long time. And I mean, it was starting to get just a little bit used. I say a little bit. I use my food processor for a lot of things. Hopefully, and if my sister-in-law is out there listening, she'll be excited about this. Hopefully, we'll get to the hot sauce that I make. And the last time I made it, I must have gotten a sweet onion on accident because it made it really sweet and I wasn't a fan of it. So, okay, so it looks like we're gonna have a cup. Oh. A cup and a mess. But hey, what's a meal without some mess? I just try to keep it tidier because I don't have somebody coming to clean up after me. So, all right, we got a little bit of them. Yep. And, oh, because I'm actually putting everything in the same exact dish, I'm not actually going to go run over and rinse that out every 5 seconds every time I do something. Come on, stop. Okay, there we go. All right, so we have a cup of celery. Which was, I guess, 4 stalks. And if I sound a little bit weird while I'm doing that, I'm writing that stuff down. I don't have any recipes for my recipe, so I'm trying to get there. So we have a cup of the shredded celery, and it didn't leave any. You wait, when I wear that blade down, it'll start leaving the, but it didn't leave any strands, little hairs, whatever you call them. That's, oh, you know what? I'm wearing white. I should be more careful about that. I don't know where my, all right, so that's a cup of that. I don't think our green onion's going to get so lucky. I think it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to do the same thing with this onion, and I've already washed it. It's got some little skins on there. I'm just going to peel back and cut off. Sometimes I'll have to take off that first one, but here lately I haven't had to do that, so lucky. I mean, with the hike in prices on some groceries, that you don't want to get anything that you waste, so all right, I'm gonna do a couple at a time. I'm just gonna cut that bit off. And I'm not going to say you have to do this next step. It's my preference. I like to tip off these ends. And if I see anything imperfect, I'll go ahead and pull it off. If it's really bad. So I'm going to try to get those even. And I didn't do that just to make them nice, pretty, and even, because we're fixing to chop these bad boys, so it doesn't matter what they look like in this state. The reason why I did that is because, like on the ends of anything, when you buy it, when it's been in the store for a while, it just starts drying out and getting a little wilty, and I don't really want that. So I'm going to put my blade back in my, that thing. And I'm just going to chop these, just like I did with the celery. Now, before I get ahead of myself, put these in the processor. I'm not quite sure these would do really well on a chopper, but if you try to do too many of these at one time when you're doing them thin like this, for a little while it'll be okay, but it can get out of hand. You have to make sure your sharp is pretty knife. Boy, see, they're pretty thin. When you want to just dice anything thin or chop anything thin, you just have to really take your time, especially if you're new to the kitchen. See, those are nice and thin. They're babies. Or you can just chop them, you know, chop them normal, a little bit bigger. The size, if you go slow, the size is totally up to you. See, those are a little bit bigger. But normally when you're doing that, it gets a little bit of a pain trying to keep them all together. So just doing a few stalks at a time is fine. Also, if I wanted them tinier, sometimes I'll just take and split one right down the middle and then dice it that way. But today, we're cheating. I don't call it cheating. I call it being smart. Of all the appliances that I've ever wanted in my kitchen, I'll have to have a food processor. If I don't know if there's ever going to come a time when I don't need one, but I know I don't really need a blender myself. I don't drink a lot of blended drinks. So, all right, let's get our lid on. And we're going to do that on shred. Get our spoon, push all this down, make sure all the, oh yeah, there go the eyeballs. See, it seems like now that I want to do some makeup and Halloween stuff, it's like the more I put on, the more my idiot self picks something I have to do, open onions in. Okay, and we're going to do that one more time. Hopefully just one more time. Beautiful. Alright, let's get that out of the way. Anything that's left on your blade, just knock it off and you'll be fine. That way you get everything. My eyes are stinging and tearing up, and oh, you would think I just watched Old Yeller. Or Where the Red Fern Grows, you know the ones. If you're anywhere near my age, which is very young at heart, you know the ones. Alright, so we're gonna do the same thing. If I can see. I'm gonna have stuff running all down my face the next time I pull the camera up. Alright. You know, people who grab scallions and they think, oh, well, this isn't as bad as an onion. Well, then you're not getting the right ones. Because good, fresh scallions, they burn your eyes just as much as, oh man, that's really... Okay. So yeah, they should be just as potent. And I should really use my, so that hasn't even quite made a cup yet, so let's see. I'm gonna say if I can, yeah, we're having difficulty seeing here, so I'm gonna say that's about two-thirds of a cup of the onions. Sorry about that. I'm having difficulties here. If I see anything too big in there, I'll just take it out and dice it, but I'm okay with what's in there. So I'd say that's just over half a cup, so we're gonna say two-thirds a cup of that. If I was just sitting here making my own without the video, I'd probably put more. Just keep adding it until I was happy with it, which, not saying that I won't be happy with this. So that's two-thirds a cup of green onion and a cup of the celery. Okay. Next, I'm not going to do any chopping at all. Okay, hopefully I haven't bumped anything out of the way or out of focus. All right, so now, need another spoon. Just use one of my soup spoons. Oh, I better put my blade back in. I'm gonna take some of these green olives, and you can use black olives. You can do dried cranberries, cherries. You could even do some pecans or walnuts in here, I suppose. But if you want it fine, I would put it in the processor just like I'm doing now and make sure they're fine. I don't want to get a lot of juice of the olives in there. And yes, I like the saltiness of the olives. Like I said, that's why you don't need a whole lot of salt when you're making this. Okay. So far, we've done pretty well. Haven't had to add any extras as of yet, but once the chicken gets in there, I might change my mind on that. How long has it been in there? Nope. Okay, so it's been about, I guess, 27 minutes, and the chicken is still cooking. All right, so we're gonna give this a quick shred. For safety purposes, I'm gonna say make sure you turn everything off fully. These are pretty good about not working unless they're closed properly. So once you open it, it won't come on. But you know what? Nothing's 100%. So just be careful when you're messing with the blade. All right, that's kind of like a pate type olive right there. So we're gonna use, I don't think that's gonna be a whole cup. Let's see. You know what? Oh, yeah. Let's use the half a cup one, and we'll just go with it one at a time if we have to. All right. Oh, maybe it is going to be a whole cup. Nope, it's not going to be a whole cup. So we've got a half a cup. And now I'm going to say that's probably going to be a third. That just makes too much noise, and it doesn't get as much as I want out. If I was smart, I'd have one of my silicone spatulas over here doing this. But I'm just not being very smart, am I? Maybe we are going to have a whole cup. I'm using pretty much the same basic amount that I use when I'm making my own. I'm not actually adding anything less or more. It's just sometimes, you know, you might be in a little saltier mood, so you'll add some more olives, or you might be more in the mood for a little bit onionier, so you'll use a little bit more onion. You know that story. Okay, so we did manage to get a whole cup of olives. So there's a cup of chopped minced. They're actually quite minced green olives. Not bad, not bad. So now, let's move this big guy out. I'm not gonna need him for a minute. See, when I mix it, I don't know if you can see that, hold on. When I mix it, it's gonna mix really good. Looks more like a pate type situation. And it smells good. So if you don't like meat, there you go. Just put a little mayo in there. All right, so I'm gonna tidy up this little bit of mess while we wait for the chicken. And then we got some chicken. So that chicken took about, you can do it for about 25-30 minutes. I like mine a little bit drier than most people. So, let's get it over here. You see, it's all pretty, and there's no pink in it. All right, so, you know, I really need to quit saying that, but it's likely that I'm never gonna just stop saying, all right, so. I crack myself up every time I watch videos. So, oh yeah, these are pretty good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just chop these up. They've been pre-done at the stores. I'm just gonna give them a little chop. I'm only gonna do a little bit at a time, I think. Sometimes I can do it all at once in my processor. Get a pretty good one here. Oh, that's a little hard on the outside. I don't want to do anything too hard. Yeah, chicken's just good the way it is. So, if you're not using a food processor, to get it fine, where's my blade? Move some of this out of the way. I'm just gonna chunk this in my food processor. All right, to get it fine, just same concept, take your time. Just take it a little bit at a time. And now I have not let this chicken cool. It'll cool as I cut it, but it's not so hot that I can't touch it. Or you'd hear me crying again. So just take your time and cut that chicken. Just cut little slices out like I just did, just little lines of chicken. And there's another way. Let me get something. Another way I've done this before was I cut it. It doesn't matter how I cut it. I can just chunk it off, put it in there. And then I just use my fingers and shred it. As long as chicken's not undercooked, you can usually shred it. And then you'll get shredded chicken. So you don't have to run out and buy a food processor if you don't have one. There's many ways to come up with an end result. I think I wouldn't be able to live without my food processor because I'll say it in many videos. I like having all my ingredients in one bite. I don't like to have to find anything or keep digging at my plate to get this bite because I want this flavor and it's not in every bite. So I like to make sure that on a lot of things that I have a good cut. That means that I get all my flavors in one bite. So yes, I love my food processor. For things like this, it's really, and I don't have, yes I do. It's really a good one to have when you're like me and you like doing things like that. Alright, so now that I've said that on camera, I'm gonna be laughing every time I say it. Alright, so same thing. We're gonna put this on and we're gonna push shred. And that was all 5 pieces of our chicken. Let's check it out. And that doesn't take very long, does it? Just make sure all the main pieces. And you'll see that it's very fine shredded, crumbly almost. Ooh, I'm losing some valuable chicken there. It just crumbles. Now, like I said, if you like chunkier chicken, that is fine. You can leave it chunky. I've never really worked with canned chicken before. But I'm sure if it's too chunky, if you drain the water out and maybe set it on a paper towel and let some of that water soak up out of it, you can do it as well. So I'm just going to run this for another second. My sister, she likes hers chunky. All right. We're going to get a measuring cup. I'm gonna go ahead and take my blade out and we're gonna do this a little bit neater if we can. I've already lost a little bit of chicken. And, oh, wait. Nope, I can't see that. It's already all mucked up. I know there's measurements on here, but 99% of the time I can't see them, so. When they make the measurements blend in with the, I don't have that good of eyesight, so we're gonna just use a cup. See how many cups we can get out of that, plus all the teaspoons worth that fall on the cutting board. Now, if you've noticed, it's not taking that long to do it this way. So when you get into making it yourself, it'll actually take less time. I'm trying to make my life easier. We're gonna get a little scooper here. All right, so there's 1 cup of chicken. Gonna add right in. There's 2 cups of chicken. There's somebody somewhere in my neighborhood with a blower going or something, and I can hear it, and I'm like, of all days. It's 3. I'm gonna try to get as much of that chicken as possible and not waste a single bit of it. There might be a few little chunks in there, but you're not going to get very many. If your blades are sharp, you'll notice that it doesn't take as long to shred anything. Chop, dice, whatever you use it for. Alright, so we actually got I think this is cup number 4 or 5. I'll go back and look on the video. It's either 4 or 5 cups of the chicken. I'll get it right in the ingredients and the directions below. Okay, so I'm gonna give that a quick little toss about. And you know, you can always lessen the vegetables if you don't want such strong, if you want the chicken to be the overpowering flavor. As I've said previously, I don't eat chicken a lot, but when I do, I don't like it to be I don't always like it just to be the only flavor. I like it to be blended really well with the other flavors. I like them to coexist. And as you're doing this part, you'll see how much moisture you have. Wasting chicken there. You'll see how much moisture you already have in your, so if you have more moisture than I do, let's see if we can see this. See, there's moisture in there already from the vegetables. So if you have more moisture in yours than I do, then you'll add probably a little less of the next 2 ingredients, or the Miracle Whip and the relish. Alright, so at this point, I'm going to add a little salt. We're going to call this salt and pepper to taste. So we're just going to add a little bit of salt, just a couple sprinkles. And we're going to add a couple dashes of pepper. I like a lot of pepper in mine, but I won't do that at the moment. I'll go ahead and mix up my flavors first. Ooh, I can't wait to start making me some. All right, then I'm gonna take the, ooh, that little cry fest I had earlier with the onions is driving me insane. I have a filling. I'm gonna use about a ½ cup. Of relish, maybe. Yes. Yes. See, using measuring things isn't that hard. Use about a ½ cup of relish. Get that all blended in. This gives me a better idea doing all of this first of how much of the moisture I'm gonna need, which is the mayo. If you want to make this in a separate dish and put it into your lidded dish, that is fine too, if you find it hard to blend while it's all in a smaller container. Alright, so now it's time for the mayo. And I'm just using Miracle Whip. It's not light, it's not fat-free, it's just bad for you probably, but tastes so good mayo. We're gonna do it ½ cup at a time because I know I'm gonna at least use a ½ cup. And I left my little spatula somewhere. We'll just use the spoon. It's not quite ½ cup, but if I need more, I'll use it. So we're gonna start with a ½ cup. A ½ cup here and a ½ cup there, and I already see it's not gonna be enough. you do want it to have some, well, it might be. The chicken was pretty moist as well. All right, this, I'm gonna get a spoon. Or a smaller, yeah, let's use. Well, you know, I'm gonna try that out first. The last thing I want to do is to ruin it. Get a cracker, get a cracker. That's all I'm doing. When I test things like this, I just get my crackers. I want to make sure I have enough salt, enough pepper. That look pretty. I'm not gonna add any more mayonnaise. That was actually quite perfect. Okay, let me get all this eaten. There's plenty of salt in there, but I am gonna add just another dash or so. Pepper. Tidy up my bowl. Oh wow. So you'll notice it kind of looks like pate. I like mine like this because it makes it so much easier to spread, and I'm not getting big clumps the whole time I'm trying to eat, and big clumps are not falling out of my sandwich. So let me go get a few items and clean this up, and I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back, and what we've got is, I'll break out my little fork here. I didn't add anything else to it. It's really moist still. It didn't dry out, which is something that can happen. But I wanted to make sure before we moved on. All right, so I wanted to share some ideas on what you can make. And I've only got small amounts here because, well, I'm going to have to eat them all. So this is going to be my lunch. So I've got some wheat bread that I bought from the store, and I've sliced it thin. Now normally I would toast this, but yeah, that's going to be way too much for me to eat if I keep going. But if you wanted to present it for like if you're having a dinner party or a get together, and this is actually a lot of chicken salad, so you could make quite a few little sandwiches. See how easy that goes onto the bread? It goes onto the bread real easy. Now, normally I would just put some lettuce and some pepper on there. But what I'm going to do is make a little bit of a crumble. I've taken some bacon and made it crispy in the microwave. It's just wanting to be a... Is there any way I can just say beep instead of having to beep myself out? So we're going to do that. And then I got these nice little Kamado, the mini Kumato tomatoes. So what I'm doing is I'm making like a bacon BLT, or sorry, a bacon BLT. What sense does that make? So I'm making a BLT chicken salad sandwich. And like I said, normally I would use a whole piece of bread, but this is a lot for me to eat. And I'm going to have to eat it. So we're going to take it easy on me today. All right. So if you want to make a... Where did my knife go? If you wanted to make a whole sandwich, then you could just put on those little, what are they called? Cumato, with a little bit of shredded lettuce. So you got a little bit of tomato, a little bit of shredded lettuce. Or you could even cut those into finger sandwiches. Let's try this. Mmm. Mmm. That's actually really good with some bacon on it. You don't have to use the microwave bacon as long as you get it crispy. I think most people can agree, not everybody, but most people can agree that having that real tough bit of bacon when you're eating a sandwich is not very fun. Okay, and also, we've got some regular pita. And pita chips come in so many brands and so many flavors. So once you've made your chicken salad, and if you want, if you're doing this for something, you can top it with like a little garnish. That looks stupid. Maybe a little sprig of something goes with it, like cilantro. Or if you're just old school like me and sit it in front of you with a big thing of crackers while you're watching something on TV, like, I don't know, the History Channel. Just put it on a regular cracker. And then I found these salt and pepper crackers. I'm not going to lie, you might have to look them up if it looks interesting to you, because I'm not 100% sure where I bought them. I think I bought them at Fresh from Brookshire's, or Fresh by Brookshire's. You know, it's a Brookshire's store, and I know they have one in Tyler, Texas, but anywhere else I wouldn't know. So I thought I would try it on there. So you could take a couple different crackers and place them around, and I know this isn't the right way to do this, but I'm not. My mom is like this expert with lettuce wraps, and I am not. This is just for visual effects. But you could even do it in a lettuce wrap, which I would eat it just like that. It's perfect. I would eat chicken salad and just about everything. So you could get really inventive with this. You could get pretty creative. Best thing about having your chicken salad spreadable is that you can put it on anything. A little goes a long way. Because, I mean, I used to make chicken salad with the chunkier chicken, and 5 chicken breasts didn't go very far. I'm going to have this for the whole entire week. And that'll be my lunch. So I'm not having to keep making myself something new for lunch every single day. Or sometimes I'll do a pot of pinto beans, and I'll use that too. I'll make like burritos or just some butter bread. And I like to have things throughout the week that I can make different kinds of meals with. So yes, if you're trying to make a lot go a long way, this is definitely a good way to make chicken salad, to make it spreadable. It's really good, and you can make a little cute little hors d'oeuvres or appetizer plate. Let me adjust here. Back up to the unicorn. Alright, so I'm going to keep saying that. That must be my thing to say. That must be my filler word. So I really hope you enjoyed. And I hope y'all really enjoyed the video today. I hope that, you know, somebody learned something new. And I hope whoever makes this recipe really enjoys it. It is one of my favorites. I don't make it very often, but I really should. So if you have any questions, any comments, or any suggestions on anything that you would like to see me cook, by all means, leave it in the comments below. If you really enjoyed it today and you know someone who would be appreciative of this video, by all means share it. Hopefully you'll subscribe to see what's going to happen next, and I hope you enjoy. So everybody have a great day, and I will see y'all the next time. It didn't go off. The camera doesn't want to go off. It wants everybody to see me eating all this stuff I made. Bye. Maybe. You want to sit here and watch me eat it? That's okay. Mmm. So for anything that I don't edit out, I lost connection to my GoPro, so it's been recording me this whole time. But that's okay, because